Hello guys, how are we doing? Today is Thursday, Easter is around the corner for those of you who celebrate that. And let me know if the Easter Bunny is visiting you this weekend, or if he already has, or she already has. I know I've already eaten several eggs because I like chocolate and I'm greedy and I can't wait. But yeah, anyway, today's video is going to be 10 things I see people make mistakes of. Commonly when I'm playing Vanguard, and some of them relate to just Vanguard, some of them are just general Call of Duty tips, and I'll go through things, include movement, map control, and working as a team. So make sure you guys stick around if you want to improve your game. I know some of the guys I have subscribed and who watch my videos are already absolute elites, so you probably are going to know most of these, but hey, you never know, there might be a tip in here which might help you. You might be thinking, oh shit, I do that, I should probably stop. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video. As I said, I'm just going to be going through it one by one. And part of improving in this game is to actively know what you're doing wrong. Now, I don't know what you're doing wrong unless I see your gameplay. So, but this is the common thing I see a lot of people make when playing COD that they probably could avoid doing, and it will win them more games. Starting off with a little bit of movement tip. A movement mistake is I see people sprinting all the bloody time. Now, granted, if you just come off spawn and you know you're not going to get shot, or you're not going to receive a gunfight, tac sprinting is absolutely fine. Now, I see people sprinting all the time, and I think this is very easy to do on this game because auto tac sprint is a thing, which means that as soon as you move your left stick, you are going to go into full sprint mode, full auto tac sprint, which means that any gunfight you encounter quickly, you're not going to be able to pull up your gun and shoot very fast, so it gets a lot of people killed. My quickest tip for this is just to run auto sprint. You don't need to auto tac sprint. I mean, it does get people killed more often than not, because even if you go into the animation slightly, you have to come all the way out of it, and it does get you killed. That and knowing, I think this comes sort of with experience with the maps, experience with the game, experience with, just knowing how the game works. Know when to stop sprinting. So if you get into somewhere, it's sort of reading the map is essentially part of this. But if you're in, basically sprint if you know you're not going to get into a gunfight, hold an angle, stop sprinting, ADS, walk slower, whatever, if you know someone's going to be around the corner potentially, because that will increase the amount of gunfights you win. Trust me, if you feel like you're getting caught out sprinting all the time, just turn auto attack sprint off. It might give your left stick a bit of a bashing, but I'd stick on a happy medium of just auto sprint, which, it's helped me. So yeah, tip number 1, done. Tip number 2, use your nades. So, a very common thing I see people doing is jumping point, hopping on a hard point. They've got a nade in their back pocket. They know exactly where the enemy's going to be coming from because there's only 2 or 3 ways in which they can come from. And they're not throwing their nades. They're not throwing a stun. They're not getting any info whatsoever. So, my tip, my thing that I see people, to avoid this is, you're on a hill, you know where they're coming from. Just drop a nade, even if it's a dead nade, which is essentially one that you don't cook. Just drop a nade, because that will sort of deter them from pushing. You might put extra damage out. It literally takes you half a second to throw a grenade. As long as you know they're not going to be coming at the exact second you're going to throw a nade. Sometimes you might get bad timing, don't get me wrong. Just throw a nade, block off that entrance. You might get some damage, you might get info. Either way, better than nothing, because the chances are if you are on a hill, you're not going to be around for very long, and you get a nade every time you respawn, so you might as well use it. Similarly, if you are, for example, Gavutu control point B, say you're stuck in that little tank, you're capping it, you know people are going to be pushing you. People aren't going to let you sit in B, they're going to be pushing you somewhat, and something I don't see a lot of people doing is vertical grenading. Now what that means is you look all the way up, as far as you can go on the game, and you just throw a grenade. You don't cook it, you literally just throw it as is. That grenade will land a meter, maybe 2 meters, just ahead of you. So say you're in that tank on B control on Gavutu, look up, dash a nade straight into the sky, it will land just outside of the tank, and it will damage the enemy around you. It has gotten me many kills, it's saved my life so many times, and again, it either puts out damage or it just deters people from pushing. So yeah, use your bloody nades, guys. Tip number 3, contesting on hardpoint is better than challing and dying and giving them time. So many times I see people, they're in a hill, they have the opportunity to wait for their team, for the rest of the team to push with them, but they just go gung-ho. They, you know what, let's go for the glory, let's ego chow the guys who's probably holding the heady ADS in and die, and that results in them having time on the hill, and we've got 1 less player to attack the hill with. Better thing to do is just play a bit cruddy, wait for your teammates to come, don't challenge until your teammates are there, because at the end of the day, if you're contesting, no one's getting a point, which isn't bad. even if you're losing, that's better than dying and then giving them an extra few seconds, and then we're then pushing as a team 3v4 at that point because you've just died. So yeah, contesting is better than giving them points and dying on the hard point in a lot of situations. Obviously, these tips I'm going to take with a pinch of salt because, you know, it is situational, but you guys get what I mean. Tip number 4, stack, stack, stack the control point. So many times, the control point is now, you win control basically on ticks, is essentially, it's far more objective based, and the quicker you can get those ticks, the better. And obviously you guys probably know, the more people on the hill in the control point, the quicker it goes up. If you have the opportunity to jump on it, just do it. You might die, but if you get 1 or 2 ticks as a result of doing so, you might not capture the whole point, but 1 or 2 ticks in doing so could get you that defense round for round 5. Worth doing. Stack if you know there's going around. And what can happen is maybe 1 or 2 people chow you, but if there's 3 or 4 of you on that hill, you can trade each other out, and there's still 2 of you alive at the end of the day, still capping that point, and it's going to be going super fast. Next tip is going to be a bit more S&D focused, but it does work in other game modes as well, is shoot and move. I see so many people take a gunfight, they're sat in a corner with an SMG, they take a gunfight, it appears on the map for the enemies to see, so they all know where you are, and then you just stay there. You're such an easy read doing so. Get a kill, scatter out the way, pull out your pistol so you run fast, whatever you want to do, move position, and just be unpredictable. That's the biggest thing with this game on S&D, specifically, be unpredictable, be a hard kill. You don't want to give them free info by just not moving when you're getting these kills. It's as simple as that. Next one is going to be, make sure you have back control before hopping the point. So, for example, control on Tuscan. Let's give this as an example. On B, it's you go through P5. Instead of hopping directly on the point, maybe take a route through green. Take a route through radio or plat round to P2, round the backside. Just check if there's anyone there. Once that's not the case, stack it. Same with Hardpoint. I know it's not quite... Bocage is a weird mixy one because the map's so small and it's just chaos and no organisation. But say Gavutu, don't just run at the hill if your teammates aren't there to support you. You need general map control before jumping on the hill, and that just comes with bodies around that certain point. So yeah, make sure you got map control before risking your life to get on the hill. Obviously, if things are tight, and again, this is very situational, you might need to contest or do whatever you need to do. But generally speaking, yeah, you're better off alive. That's all. The more time you're alive, the better. So if you can work that sort of area of the map as a team, get map control, then jump on the point, happy days. I mean, if you get the first kill and your team are playing together, you get trades out, and then at the end of the day, if everyone trades out the previous kill, your teammate will be there on the hill, standing still at the very last point. And because he's still alive, you'll be spawning close. Next tip. Stick together in S&D when you're man up. I see so many situations where it's a 2v1. It's a 2v1 and they're split. They might even be together and they run off separately and they split for whatever reason. That just gives the enemy team an opportunity to take one, take the other, and take the round. It's so easy to do. It's the simplest thing. Even if you're a scrub, even if you don't think you can win a gunfight, just stick with a teammate. Don't be so close to that you're going to get collateraled with the Kar98, or you're going to get absolutely 4 or 5 bulleted, the both of you next to each other. But just be in the same vicinity so that if they get a kill or they lose their gunfight, you know exactly where there is and you can get the trade. It's the easiest thing I see to just win around an S&D, and it's a mistake I see happen quite commonly. So this next tip is a bit of a communication. It's only really applicable if you're in a team or you are communicating with a team. I know a lot of the guys who've listened to me ramble on in these videos play solo queue, which is fair enough, but call out when you see them. I don't want to hear call outs when you're dead. I don't want to hear call outs after you've been bitching that you, I don't know, whatever connection. I mean, I do it myself. When you're in the heat of the moment, it's hard, but please try and compose yourself. Call out when you see him. If you know you're chasing someone for a kill, at least call that out. It's free info for your team. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't die doing it. Just call out mid-gunfight, not when you die, because chances are if you call out as soon as you see someone, your teammate can help. They can come and support you. They can get into a better position to trade you, but they can't do that if they don't know they're there until you die. And especially if you do on a 10-minute rant about bloody connection or, oh, that gun's OP, oh, he's hacking. They don't want to hear it. Your teammates don't want to hear it. They just want a clear, concise communication from you. Simple as that. Another thing with communication, obviously this is going to be in the same tips, otherwise I'm going to go run over into 11. So let's stick with the communications theme. Call out where you're holding. If nothing's happening on the map and you're defending a point, call out where you're watching. So that your team know that that's covered and you know duplicate people watching. Because a lot of hardpoints, there's maybe 4 or 5 ways onto it. So if you think church on Tuscan, you've got top, P1 door, back door, and then ramp door, and then front. So that's 5. So you really need to be communicating where you're watching so that your teammates know what's covered and what's not. Yeah, I see so many people don't do that, and then people end up getting round and like, oh, he come behind me, and it's just because no one was watching that way, because they don't know no one's watching that way. It's an easy thing to fix, especially when you're in a 4-man. But as I say, it's one of them things, if you're solo queuing, it's not quite so easy to do. Now, when I spectate, a lot of people, this tended to be happening in the lower ranks when I was climbing my way up to where I am at the moment. I see so many people using a sensitivity which is simply not suited to them. People, I mean, I play on a high sensitivity myself, but that's because I have done for years, and my ADS sense is lowered as a result of that. But yeah, if you shoot in wind, just reduce your sensitivity. It's as simple as that. If you're just missing your shots, reduce your sensitivity. Maybe hop in a box and stick it on a 5-minute timer, 5-10 minute timer, just balancing out your sensitivity. It's as easy as that. You're going to win more gunfights. No one's going to be impressed with you on a 10-10 sensitivity if you're losing gunfights. People would much rather you sit on a 6-6, 5-5, as if you're winning your gunfights that way. It's as simple as that. My final tip is going to be a big one, and you don't even have to have good gun skills for this tip. This is one for you old heads out there. If you just, if you like chess, always think about the next move. This hardpoint's happening in your head. Say I don't know, it's P5 on Berlin. You want to know what's next. P1. Where do we need to be spawning to be beneficial on there? Work that spawn. Make sure your team are pushing around there very slowly so that eventually when that hill pops, you're ready to pop it, you're in a good position. Be there early. So many times I see people outnumbered, challenging a new hill alone because their team aren't with them, and then they hold it. It's tough. It's tough. Always be one step ahead of the enemy. Always be considering, oh crap, there's 15 seconds left on the hill. It's going to take me 10 seconds to even get there. It's not worth doing, because I'm going to get 5 seconds max, where I could be setting up somewhere new, getting into a good position and getting a little bit more time on the new hill. Similarly to control, you want an objective. Say you cap an objective. Before you cap it, you need to know your route. You need to know where the enemies are. Just so that you know, okay, you cap it, right, let's go through bottom church to B through ramp, because we know no one's covering that. Or jump up top church, go through radio, clear P5 and plat, jump on point that way. You need to know where enemies are, and having always that in mind and communicating that with your team so that it's a unified approach to the next objective is something I see people not do, and it would win them more games. So that's going to do it. Feel free to go back and listen again over it if needs be. Again, if you have any questions, I might have gone a bit quickly, but I didn't want this to be a 20-minute video, because no one wants to see 20 minutes or hear 20 minutes of me rambling on about things people are making mistakes about. But anyway, the purpose of this wasn't to rant, but it's to help you guys out. If you guys don't feel like you're at the top of your game, say you want to lose, you want to lose more? Who wants to lose more? Say you want to win more, won more games, get those plus SR, climb up the ranks in rank play on Vanguard. These tips might help you. Maybe 9 of them don't. Maybe you already do 9 of these perfectly, but 1 might. And if that does, then that's my job done. So yeah, as I say, any questions, or you want me to go into a video specifically about one thing, just let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to do so. Yeah, enjoy your Easter. I'll probably upload a video during the Easter break at some time. Enjoy your chocolate if you get any, or sweets, or whatever you do. Maybe a roast on Sunday, and I will catch you after that.